Sopranos is a last name. Abercrombie and Fitch, last names. Armani is a last name. Baskin Robbins is a last name. Chrysler is a last name. Fisher Price, Gucci, Hennessy, Harley Davidson, Hilton, Honda, Kohl's, Kraft Foods, Lowe's Movie Theater, Marriott is a last name. Maybach is a last name. Nordstrom is a last name. Pillsbury is a last name. Porsche is a last name. Procter & Gamble, 2 last names. Rolls Royce, Charles Rolls, Henry Royce, last names. Turner Broadcast System, Ted Turner, last name. Versace, last name. Wells Fargo, Henry Wells, William Fargo, last name. Walgreens, last name. Wrigley's, last name. Welch's Grape Juice, last name. Here you are, you think you're buying a product. You are not buying a product, you're buying a name. You think you're wearing a product. Hey, look at this product. No, you're saying, look at this family. And what you don't know is while you're making every family rich, you're making yourself broke. So you done went to one family called Wells Fargo and got $200,000 so you can go to another family called Rolls Royce so you can give them money and get yourself a car so you can go back to the hood and see the Joneses and say, look at what I got. Meanwhile, Wells Fargo, their family's sitting up being rich, and Harley Davidsons and Rolls Royce are being rich, and the Joneses are sitting there holding up people's stuff saying, look at what we did and we broke. What if I told you that your blessing is attached to your name? That part of the reason why you're not wealthy yet is because you keep trying to make Yolanda wealthy. You keep trying to make Tasha wealthy. What if you made Johnson's wealthy? What if you started thinking about your kids? What if you started thinking about your legacy? What if God started dropping Canaan and opening up windows of heaven? Because now you're not just thinking about you, you're thinking kingdom. There are some people who are attached to you who say, Mama, can you do something with this name? There's some people who are saying, Dad, can you do something with this name? Maybe God gave you the name to change and reverse some of the stuff that the name meant one day. I wish there was somebody in this room that said my name might mean one thing right now, but I promise after today, this name's getting ready to change. I promise after today, everybody's going to want my last name. I'm here to let you know you are a curse breaker. You're thinking kingdom. You are not just getting married, you're breaking a curse. You are not just graduating from college, you're breaking a curse. You are not just getting out of high school, you're breaking a curse. You are not just saved, you're breaking a curse. And everybody around you is about to be blessed because of what God's getting ready to do in your life.
Hey everybody, hope everybody's well. Happy Sunday. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. Try to fix it, but I'm on the other side. It's on the other side. Okay. So, good evening. Happy Sunday. My name is Yolanda Morant, and welcome to Let's Talk Late Night for Creatives. So, if you could do me a favor, please share. All you got to do is click the share button right at the bottom. If you could do that for me, I would love it. It'd be so awesome. Just click share at the bottom. And let's have a conversation. I'm really excited to talk to you about something amazing that happened, this week and over the last 24 hours or so. And I want to talk to you about it, share with you, and we can have this really, really cool conversation. All right. So if you could do me that favor and just share, just click the share button right at the bottom. If you're on Facebook or Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, let me know that you're here, and let's have this really cool conversation tonight. So it's just me tonight. I was going to have guests, but I think this worked out the way it was supposed to. I do want to tell you about a couple of things upcoming while you're sharing and telling your friends where we are. So next Sunday, I'm going to do a live with some friends, some guests, Kevin Kelly out of Nashville, Tennessee, who is a worldwide musician, producer, sound engineer. I'm also going to have my friend Lamar Harvey, a very good friend of mine who is a photographer, amazing graphic designer. He helps me in a lot of ways. I'm also going to have my friend Demetrius Tollfree from Freedom Radio. I'm also going to have, all my friends, and we're going to have a conversation that came from a conversation. Also, my friend Takitha Peterson. And I'm going to add one more person to the list. It is going to be a pastor, because we're going to talk about technology and the church. Me and my friend Takitha were having a conversation about technology and where technology is and what's going on with it. And so I decided that I felt this thing, you get an idea and like, we got to talk about this right now. So we're going to talk about technology in the church, where the church is versus where technology is, and how far those worlds are apart, and how, the church needs to kind of really catch up. So again, I'm a church girl. I do my own Wild Praise Music and Media, and a lot of my clientele is in the faith-based community. And I don't just serve the faith-based community, but because I'm a part of the faith-based community, I'm very impacted by the things that happen in that community. And when the pandemic happened, a lot of people, I always want to say, were displaced a little bit. A lot of people were just really behind. We thought we were in this place and we found out we were somewhere else. So I want to have a conversation about the church and technology. Thank you so much, Ms. Taylor. I want to have a conversation about the church and technology and where these two worlds are. All right, so that's the first part. I wanted to let you know what we're going to be talking about. And you see my little red hair thing here because I'm working on something. So let me stop and talk about that. And this will go into maybe where I'm headed. So I have an idea that I'm working on. I learned how to sew when I was in middle school. And so the idea that I'm working on doesn't necessarily cause me to sew yet, but it did cause me to get this from the store, which, was, the pen holder. It holds pens for your clothes. When you're creating that line, or when you want to make sure you cut in the right place. So, this is going to maybe come in handy for this conversation, because my aunt Jeanette, from what who is still living, on my mother's side, from what I understand, she could see something and create it. So she could see something in a book and a dress. She could see someone on a dress, and she could go home and recreate exactly what she saw verbatim, if not better, from what I've been told several times. And so sometimes we don't understand why we have certain traits, why things are in us the way they are, why you're drawn to this or why you're drawn to that. If you came to the top of this live, you saw I played a video from Pastor Brian Bull. I want to make sure I say his last name right. But it was from a pastor, and he talked about the last name. And I saw that video several months ago, and I wanted to play it again today. And I might play it again in the middle of this live so you can see it, because what I found interesting is when he started talking about all these last names, I saw the video on a feed on Instagram, and this gentleman, Pastor Brian, was talking about legacy, and he was talking about last names. And I never thought about that the product we've been using, it's been around for ages, Johnson & Johnson, came from a family, a last name. Gucci, Prada, all these products that we spend thousands of dollars on, that these products all came from someone's last name. Never thought about it, to tell you the honest truth. And so when I saw this post this day, I watched it several times actually, because I was so taken in by the fact that we make other people rich and we make other families rich, and we just don't think about it. Now, I'm not here to say that you should not buy Gucci, or you should not buy Prada, or that you shouldn't buy Johnson & Johnson or Carol's Daughter or McDonald's, or, so on and so on and so forth. I want to share with you what happened to me this weekend. and why legacy is so, so, so important. And what you build today will help future generations for what they do tomorrow. This morning, it is Sunday. So this morning, I usually have a routine. I watch Pastor Kenneth Mo's Sunday school lesson where he talks about wealth. Yep, at Sunday school. So every Sunday morning, Pastor Kenneth Mo's of the Cathedral of the Holy Spirit talks about wealth based upon the book Rich Man, Poor Man. And then I watch my church, Half Life Church, and then I, watch Pastor William Toney. Then I watch Pastor Sam Franklin. This is kind of like my routine every Sunday. And so Pastor Kenneth Mo said something really, really, really amazing today. Two things that stuck out to me today. He said, number one, he said that wealth is created daily. It's not created overnight. That's meaning it's not an overnight, sensation. Unless you win the lottery, it takes time and patience to create wealth. It's created on a daily basis through ideas, through witty inventions, every single day. Then he said something else that I found very remarkable, that he was going to do all he could to ensure that no one else from his legacy or his name would ever be broke or without, that everyone be able to go to college, everyone would be able to have housing, everyone would be able to have a car, vehicle, so on and so on and so forth. And he said, I will do all I can to ensure that my legacy is well taken care of. If they are poor, it will be by choice. I thought that was so remarkable because we often, me and my friend Takita often saying being broke is a choice, and I believe that. Because there's so many ways to increase your life. There's so many ways to increase legacy. There's so many ways to do something different, try something different. The makeup I have on my face, somebody had an idea to take some color and put it together with other ingredients and create makeup, liquid. There used to only be powder, or, especially for African-American women, there used to only be powder, and it came in very, very limited colors. And then, someone had the idea to say, I'll try this. I didn't know if you knew that the woman who created, and I know I should know her name off the top of my head, but the woman who created the pressing comb, she also was selling makeup. Did you know that? Like there's so many things that come from our history. This is not a Black history lesson, really. But this is just to encourage you to know that everything that you do, somebody created. Somebody created lashes. Somebody decided to create edge control. I mean, everything you do, that's something somebody created. So I want to tell you about what I experienced this weekend in hopes that it will encourage you to do something more than what you're doing, to reach beyond where you are today. Yesterday, let me go back. So during the pandemic, when the pandemic first started, in the month of November, well, I won't say first started, but in the latter part of November of 2020, I decided to get my DNA origins from Ancestry.com. Again, I'm not being paid for this or anything of that nature. So I decided to get my origins, my DNA ran through Ancestry.com. You pay the money. At that time it was like $50, $60, well worth every penny. And you pay those funds, and then they send you a kit. You fill the kit out. All you have to do with the kit is take a sample of your saliva. Hi, Miss Mayfield. All you have to do is take a sample of. It takes a sample of your DNA or your saliva. You put it in. You follow the directions. You send it in, and then they run your DNA. It takes about 6 to 8 weeks, and so I didn't know what was going to come from it, to be honest with you. Me and my cousins are working on something for my mom's side of the family. And so, I thought I thought the timing seemed perfect. And maybe this be a great way I could find out more about my granddaddy. I, to be honest with you, had no other thoughts probably beyond that. I was trying to find a little bit out about my biological parents, but I kind of had almost lost hope in that area. So, whatever came from it, I would be grateful for. Well, the results came back, and it divided up where I was, my origins, part Nigerian, makes sense, right? Part Nigerian, part Nigerian of the Netherlands, even a little bit of East Asia, just a little bit of everywhere, really. And so from that, it also pulled up people that I could be related to, people that could be my fifth, sixth, seventh cousin, people that could be my second or third, and people who could be my first. There was a young lady that stuck out. It said that she could be my first to second cousin, and the match was like 99.9%. So when I saw the picture of her, I thought she looks really, really familiar. I mean, this can't be who I think it is, because how would we be related? In what way? This doesn't make sense. So I followed up, right? Please share, please share, please share, please share, please share. So I followed up with it, right? I'm posting to Instagram, let them know we're here too. And so I followed up with it, right? And I went ahead and I contacted her, and I said, this app says that we're related, but I think I know you. Yesterday morning, I got an inbox from her. Now, I want to tell you the day I was getting my nails done, right? I'm a nail girl, and I was getting my nails done, and I was sitting down, and I saw her inbox come, and she said, she screenshot me. She didn't even talk yet. She screenshot me an image from the Ancestry app, and it said, you and this person may be related, like 99.9% kind of thing. I'm like, huh? And so I said, yeah, that's what it said. So who's your dad? She tells me who her dad. Well, she asked me who my dad is. I said, this is my dad. This is my mom. I said, well, who's your dad? She tells me who her dad is. Well, her dad and my dad are cousins. So I said, wait, well, what? So I'm kind of choked up, because I'm thinking, the thing is, I've known this girl for years. Sang with her in a group called Michael Williams and Eternal Life, which I was a part of from the time I was 16 until I was an adult, like, well in my 20s or so. I sang Michael Williams for a very, very, very long time. And she came in at kind of the middle, kind of the latter stage of it, not the end, because it's still going on, but he just relocated, actually, but she came in kind of in the middle. And I remember we always, kind of like, I don't know, we just gelled. And, so I thought she was a cool girl. And, oh, she killed me. I never would have thought anything like it, right? So we started talking and having this conversation back and forth in the inbox. Come to find out, we're not only first cousins, we're double cousins, which I didn't even know that existed. Our grandmothers married brothers. So her grandfather and my grandfather married sisters. Crazy. Come to find out that me and this girl are double cousins. And we talked and laughed yesterday, and it was really, 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 really wonderful. And she sent me a picture of my grandparents. It was the first time in my entire life that I saw a picture of my grandparents. Very emotional day. Very good day, but very emotional day, right? So that happened. And I called my mom and telling my mom, and I'm just like, oh my God, I came live on Facebook, like, oh my God, y'all, I'll tell you what happened. So all of that went down. Well, that same day, I called my aunt and my aunt Peaches, and I said, I got to tell you something that happened really incredible today. Now, you may not know these relatives, but I have an aunt, or really, I should say, I have an auntie named Peaches. Her real name is Priscilla. And I love and adore her. And if my Aunt Jean sees this, or my Aunt Quincella, I love them all equally. They all have a certain part of them that I cling to, right? My Aunt Jean is very classy, and they're all classy. Let me be clear, they're all classy. But my Aunt Jean is very classy and poised, right? My Aunt Mickey I have an aunt whose name is Quincella, which my middle name is after. She's very, she's a preacher. She's a preacher, and they're all beautiful. We get that clear. They're all classy, they're all beautiful. My Aunt Quincella, or Aunt Mickey, as we call her, she's very, just preacher, singer, the part, nails, hair. I get all of that from her. She was a hairstylist. She always had these pretty nails. So I get that from her, right? And then I have I have a lot of aunties with them named these particulars. And then I have an aunt named Peaches. And so my Aunt Peaches is sassy and classy, and she's got these pretty legs, and she's a fashionista, and she still wears heels, and so she was, before her time. Whenever I think about her, I always think about, we wear like blazers with jeans. She was doing that when I was a kid, so she's always just been this girl. And her and I were talking yesterday, and I was sharing with her what I was experiencing. And she said, well, Yolanda, I don't want my information out there like that. And I'm sharing this with you because today I was sharing with her how it was important that we find out our legacy, and we'd be okay with sharing. You don't have to tell people your address, where you live, but being okay with sharing these parts of our heritage, and how I wanted my children's children to know about her, and how important she is to me, and how the role she played in my life. When my great-great-grandchildren are talking about me, that they'll have an idea or concept of who she is. And she was kind of a little reluctant, and because we're doing this ancestry thing, and she didn't want her information. I said, Auntie, this is so and so important. Today, I got a wonderful call that my auntie found her son, my cousin, that she had been looking for a very long time. And she said to me, Yolanda, I'm thankful to you because of the conversation you and I had yesterday. I think that sparked something. Now, I'm a little churchy. Okay, so here's what I believe that God is up to something in my life. I believe that he's pulling things together. It's all working together for purpose. Now, what does this have to do with the video you showed? Or Yolanda, what does this have to do with ancestry? What does this have to do with legacy? Because I want to share this with y'all, and I want to encourage you in something. I know as African Americans, especially, I'm not saying it doesn't have to happen in other ethnicities, in other cultures, because it does. But I am an African American girl. Therefore, that's the culture I can speak to or for. In the African American culture, it is very common for us to say, what happens in this house stays in this house. And we often take things with us to our graves, and we don't talk about, some of the things that happened or occurred because, they're sacred, and we want to protect them. And so what happens is sometimes, not in all cases, but in a lot of cases, we end up not allowing future generations to know where they came from, who they are, what they're about, their traits. Had I not known or been aware that my Aunt Jeanette sewed, I may not be able to understand why I'm so attracted to, why I am so greatly attracted actually to fashion and to clothing, right? If I wasn't aware of somewhat of my heritage, I may not be able to understand why I'm so in love with music, why I can listen to songs for hours and hours and hours upon end and never, ever, ever get tired of it, right? I may not understand that. If I didn't know those things, if I didn't know that my granddaddy was a preacher, that my grandmother was this prolific singer, or just yesterday that my uncle, who unfortunately was killed at 15, how he was like your Sam Cooke, I wouldn't be able to identify these certain parts of me. So I want to encourage you in this. I know that how you got here or how your children got here may not be the way that you had planned. You know, maybe it wasn't the circumstance or the relationship that you have been looking for. And when they arrived, it was like this, or things didn't work out the way it was supposed to. Don't let that past circumstance keep you from sharing with your family where they came from. It is important to let your children and your children's children and your family know where they came from. What if ancestry didn't exist? Thank God it does. And thank God someone gave someone the idea to create ancestry. But what if this cousin I met, and I know we don't like to talk about this and it's uncomfortable sometimes, but what if this cousin I met was a boy? I am a straight heterosexual girl. And what if this girl was a boy? And what if we had become attracted to each other? I would have dated my cousin and would have been totally unaware. Now, thank God that was not the circumstance. But I just want to remind you and encourage you to connect to your history. Number one, connect for yourself. Do the homework. If no one will tell you, pay the money. Ancestry has another part where you can pay a monthly fee and they'll start pulling information and documents. And I saw my aunt's wedding license a couple of days ago. My grandfather's draft card. I mean, things that people may not think are significant, but they're very significant when you need answers. So here's my encouragement to you all. Do all you can while you can. Get as much information as you can. Call your auntie. She would love to hear from you. She has not talked to you. She has not heard your voice in a little while. Call her, check on her, see if she needs something, take her some groceries or something. She'll let you come inside, put them on the porch. But have a conversation. Ask about your uncle. Ask about your grandmother. Call your uncle. See how he's been. See if you can take something by. See if he needs his grass cut or something. Listen, you don't know if you don't do the investigation. And, just even to my elders or to the wiser people, I don't like the word old, but to the more seasoned saints or to the more seasoned, beautiful people, don't be afraid to let your children know where they came from. I know everything in the legacy, everything in the family wasn't what it was supposed to be. There's a lot of things that are uncomfortable to talk about, things that happen that are embarrassing, that we just don't like to talk about as family sometimes. But these conversations will be life-changing. Yesterday, I met my cousin, which to someone else doesn't seem like a big deal. But to me, it put a piece together in a puzzle for me that had been missing all my life. Don't allow whatever you experienced in the past to predict your future. You have the power to change your life and change the trajectory, the path that it's going to take. But if you don't do it, who else will? So this is a short live. This is not a long live, but I just want to encourage you to try something different. I want to share with you what I had experienced, because it was so amazing and so powerful. And so I know it says, for creators, here's the creative part. You are creative for a reason. I believe that creators are not made, but they are born. And I was born to be a creative. I was born to love fashion. I was born to do graphic design. I was born to sing. Those are some things that I, to be honest with you, may not even being able to control because I'm attracted to it. I was born to do it. And so wherever stage you are in your creative place, in your creative mind, I want to encourage you to keep doing what you do. I don't ever forget about the creative. So I want to encourage you to keep doing what you do, keep moving forward. Don't let anything and anybody stop you at any point at any time. If you have to take a breather, take a breather. If you have to take a break, take a break. But if, like, remember the movie, what's the movie? Sister Act? And she says in the movie, if you wake up in the morning thinking about music, girl, you're supposed to sing. If you wake up in the morning and you're thinking about movies, graphics, animation, you're probably supposed to be designing. If you wake up and you're stuck in the store, you wake up thinking about fashion, or you're in the store and you're always in the fashion magazines, you're probably supposed to do fashion. Whatever it is, don't allow anyone to stop you from where you're trying to go or what you're supposed to do, because that's what you were meant to do. And if you don't do it, there's going to be somebody that's going to not get what they're supposed to get. So that is all. I just want to encourage you, Ancestry.com, DNA Origins, they definitely work. They do work. I'm not being paid to say this. I have never spoken to anyone from Ancestry.com at all. They don't know me. I don't know them. I just paid for the service and it worked. So just wanted to encourage you in that. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It's not a long live, but I just wanted to encourage you in that. Now I'll be home in Denver, Colorado, June 17th for a couple of days, starting June 17th. And I'm coming on to do an event. I'm coming on for Bridget Couch's event. I'm super duper excited. So with that said, I'm going to leave you praying that all will be well with you. And we thank God for your life. And I'm going to leave you with something different tonight. I'm going to leave you with this message from Pastor Brian. And I hope it will encourage you to find out more about yourself, find out more about your heritage, create wealth for yourself, because wealth is not made, it's created. Have an absolutely, positively great night.
McDonald's is a last name. Abercrombie and Fitch, last names. Armani is a last name. Baskin Robbins is a last name. Chrysler is a last name. Fisher Price, Gucci, Hennessy, Harley Davidson, Hilton, Honda, Kohl's, Kraft Foods, Lowe's Movie Theater, Marriott is a last name. Maybach is a last name. Nordstrom is a last name. Pillsbury is a last name. Porsche is a last name. Procter & Gamble, 2 last names. Rolls Royce, Charles Rolls, Henry Royce, last names. Turner Broadcast System, Ted Turner, last name. Versace, last name. Wells Fargo, Henry Wells, William Fargo, last name. Walgreens, last name. Wrigley's, last name. Welch's Grape Juice, last name. Here you are, you think you're buying a product. You are not buying a product, you're buying a name. You think you're wearing a product. Hey, look at this product. No, you're saying, look at this family. And what you don't know is while you making every family rich, you making yourself broke. So you done went to one family called Wells Fargo and got $200,000 so you can go to another family called Rolls Royce so you can give them money to get yourself a car so you can go back to the hood and see the Joneses and say, look at what I got. Meanwhile, Wells Fargo, their family's sitting up being rich, and Harley Davidsons and Rolls Royce are being rich, and the Joneses are sitting there holding up people's stuff saying, look at what we did and we broke. What if I told you that your blessing is attached to your name? that part of the reason why you're not wealthy yet is because you keep trying to make Yolanda wealthy. You keep trying to make Tasha wealthy. What if you made Johnson's wealthy? What if you started thinking about your kids? What if you started thinking about your legacy? What if God started dropping Canaan and opening up windows of heaven? Because now you're not just thinking about you, you're thinking kingdom. There are some people who are attached to you who say, Mama, can you do something with this name? There's some people who are saying, Dad, can you do something with this name? Maybe God gave you the name to change and reverse some of the stuff that the name meant one day. I wish there was somebody in this room that say my name might mean one thing right now, but I promise after today, this name's getting ready to change. I promise after today, everybody's going to want my last name. I'm here to let you know you are a curse breaker. You're thinking kingdom. You are not just getting married, you're breaking a curse. You are not just graduating from college, you're breaking a curse. You are not just getting out of high school, you're breaking a curse. You are not just saved, you're breaking a curse. And everybody around you is about to be blessed because of what God's getting ready to do in your life.
Right.